Houston. We'll be going live here in a few minutes with words of encouragement. But I wanted to just start this show off, as I have the others, with just a song that I think can encourage and speak to the message I want to share with you today. Hold on to the rope. Hold the rope.
If we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have pain, you need to borrow. For no one can feel those of your need that you won't let you. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. Hey, we all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean.
Good morning. Welcome into today's Word of Encouragement. I'm Martin Houston, and I am so excited to be joining you this morning. You just heard that song, Lean on Me, and that kind of sets the backdrop and the theme for today's Word of Encouragement. Hold the rope. My challenge is that you first and foremost will be a person that someone can lean on, but also that you make sure that you have people in your life that is someone you can lean on. And I'm going to use the concept of hold the rope to explain that. But before we get into that conversation, I want to remind you that this is a day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. The hold the rope concept is one of my favorite topics to talk about, and just to kind of set the stage for what it means. And then I'm going to give you some qualities of and characteristics of a person that holds a rope, and what happens within that environment when that quality is available in the people in your circle. First of all, hold the rope comes from the concept that if you are hanging off a cliff, and it was a 20,000 foot drop to the ground, and of course your sure death, and you could pick anybody, but you could only pick one somebody, who would you pick? And think about this in terms of a team concept. And now flip the script and say, if one of my friends were hanging off of a cliff and they were in that situation and it was a team of us around, would they pick me to hold the rope? Would they pick me to be the one person? They could only pick one person that could hold the rope until help came or they were able to pull me up from my sure death of hanging off that cliff, would I be the person on the team that they would pick? And I think that's important because when you're hanging off that rope, you're going to need somebody that has some traits and qualities that a lot of times don't exist, because it requires things like sacrifice and pain and persistence and all of those things. So as you look at that concept, are you a person that would be picked off of a team? Or, and of course, you all, it's no secret, I'm running for mayor. If you were hanging off a cliff, would you pick the incumbent current mayor to come be the person to hold the rope, or would there be someone else in terms of saving your city? This city, I think, hangs on a cliff right now. Not that it's doomed, not that anything like that, but I think this city needs someone that is going to be a team player, someone who is willing to sacrifice, someone who is willing to be persistent and do what it takes to help hold up, because we're coming off of a time where we've had one of the worst economic impacts in our city ever. We have businesses that are struggling. Some of us in the city have always felt like we were just hanging off of a cliff, waiting on someone to pull us up. So you may be in that situation. And my question is, if you could pick someone right now to help you change your current situation, whether you're a business hanging off a cliff, whether you're a single mom that's struggling to make ends meet, whether you're a person who, your ends are meeting, but it's because you're having to work two jobs, or you're going through a crisis or pain or discomfort, or you just want to see your city move from good to great. Do you have in place in your life, from a personal standpoint, a professional standpoint, and a leadership standpoint, in your schools, in your districts, in your city government, do you have people who you can trust will hold the rope? Let me give you just a few characteristics of what it means to hold the rope. First of all, it requires teamwork. You have to have someone who is willing to allow other people, not just themselves, to be the ones that get the credit, that gets all of the glory. They have to be willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the team, because that person that's on the cliff holding the rope while you're hanging off and giving you enough time to gain the strength and the energy and the will to fight and to move on, they have to be willing to go through some things. And if they're not a team player, they're not going to go through it. They're not going to do it. They're going to get up there, and at that moment that rope starts to pull and their hands start to bleed because they're having to strain and fight to hold on, they're going to let go. And you don't want that type of person. You want someone that's going to stay in it for the long haul. You want somebody that's accountable. You want somebody that if you call them and you seek them out and you go after them, that they will be there, that they are accountable to what they have said they are going to do. And so if you call on someone to hold the rope while you're hanging off a cliff and they promise, oh yeah, I'll be there. Hey, call me. You can lean on me. I'll be there when you're not strong. But if they're not accountable, then they're not going to be there. No matter what they promise, no matter how many times they say it, go back and look at the people who you would consider calling upon to hold the rope in your life if you were hanging off a cliff, whether it be personal, in your business, in your work life, and in service to you. They have to be a person that's willing to make self-sacrifice. They have to be willing to dig in, get in, and fight through the pain, because if you're the one that's up on that cliff holding that rope, you probably did not prepare for it. And what I mean by that is sometimes things catch us off guard. We're not prepared for every obstacle that comes in our life. And so when we are faced with those obstacles that we're not prepared for, it requires us to have self-sacrifice. It requires us to give up things that we hadn't planned on giving up. It requires us to do things we hadn't planned on doing. And so if you're going to be a person that can hold the rope, you have to be a person that believes in teamwork, and as a team player, you have to be a person that's accountable. You have to be a person that believes in self-sacrifice, and you have to persist. You have to persist through the tough times. And if a person doesn't know how to push through when times are tough, then you may say, well, how do you know that? Look at their track record. See if they're consistent. Go back and look at their life and examine their life and see if they have, you may not agree with them, but see if they have a consistent pattern of how they approach things, how they do things, or do they, are they wishy-washy when they, are faced with something, they go back and forth. That is always one of the things. And then I'm going to wrap these three up all in one. They have to have character. If you're going to call on someone and your life depends on it, you want to make sure that that's a person of character. It's a person that you can trust. And it's a person that instills hope in you that, hey, even though you're hanging off a cliff, even though things haven't gone the way you planned, even though you're in a really tough spot, I can trust you, or I instill hope in you, and you can trust me, I should say, as the person that you're calling upon. Holding a rope is simply another way of saying, if I'm in a bind, if my life is on the line, if my life is not working out, if I'm in a dangerous situation, and if I don't get help in this moment, in this circumstance, in this situation, I am going to plunge to my sure death. Who would you call upon? And if you don't have people like that in your life, you need to find those people. But more importantly, and this is what I always used to tell the teams and the organizations and the businesses that I would go speak to when I share this principle, is if your friend or if someone is hanging off of the cliff and you're in the audience, think of who you would call upon. And most of the time, the team will have one or two people that they would call upon. And it may be 50 people in the audience. And I go, that's not good. A team of 50 people, there should be a room full of people that would hold the rope. And they should have a hard time picking which guy because there's so many, not have a hard time because there's only one or two. And so my challenge to you today is have people in your life that if you're in a tough spot that will hold the rope. But most importantly, back to the theme of that song, Lean on Me, you be the person that others can lean on, that others would call upon your name to hold the rope. I want to hold the rope for you, Tuscaloosa, as we come out of this pandemic, as we come out of this downturn in our economy due to the pandemic and in most part and the impact of the reduced season. I want to be the person that can hold the rope for you as your mayor. You can go to HoustonForTuscaloosa.com and find out more about our campaign and what we believe in and what we trust. But most importantly, I want to just ask for your prayer. And I do ask for your vote and your support. And I ask you to tell your family and friends to support, because I want to be a person that you know that you can count on to hold the rope in your life. I want to be a person that as you go through and grow through 2021 and beyond, that you know that you can lean on the mayor's office in the city of Tuscaloosa to help you through your tough times. Thank you and for this word of encouragement. Have a blessed day, and make sure you mark March 2nd down as a day to go out and vote to raise the bar in Tuscaloosa, move it from good to great for all the people of Tuscaloosa. Thank you and have a blessed day.
We all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.